Let's go. Hola, hola con todos, bienvenidos a un programa más de Bestial Radio Show, el canal de entrevistas con los músicos más extremos, ustedes ya saben. Qué gusto tenerlos aquí el día de hoy, qué gusto recibirles, qué gusto estar en sus hogares una vez más. Siempre agradecido por el apoyo que el canal va recibiendo, cada vez más gente nos sigue, cada vez más gente comparte. Les agradezco mucho por compartir con sus amigos, como siempre digo. La publicidad de boca en boca es lo que más ayuda. Es cuando la información es más confiable. Siempre el apoyo del público es algo que ayuda al canal a crecer, ayuda al canal a seguir. Pero antes de continuar, quisiera recomendarles un canal amigo que tiene material de excelente calidad. Se trata de Octavo Sentido, un canal excelente conducido por mi amigo Miguel Roa, en donde hablan de todo tipo de música pesada, hacen reseñas, reacciones, tienen charlas de conversación analítica sobre los procesos que ha vivido la música. Es un canal súper interesante y si quieren descubrir nueva música, queda recomendado. Ok, ¿qué tenemos para hoy? Tenemos una persona de leyenda, una persona legendaria, ha hecho historia en la música extrema y esta persona ha estado en más de una banda conocida a nivel mundial. Es vocalista de Mid Spreader, ha tenido temporalmente la banda Coffee Grinders y fue vocalista de Death Infection. Estamos hablando de palabras mayores. Estamos hablando del legendario vocalista Jaro. Hello Jaro, how are you today?
Hello Pablo, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Terrific, I'm so glad to have you here. For me it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to talk to you. You're always welcome at this show.
Thank you very much. Finally.
We finally meet each other. Yes. Okay. So, well, this is a show about biographies, about profiles. And of course, we have to start talking about your biography from the beginning. I always ask my guests to tell me the year they were born, because understanding the time they grew up, in is very important. So tell me, which year were you born?
Which year I was born?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 1969, my man. So this year I will be 56 in the May.
All right.
Yeah, I'm old boy now.
Old boy now. Okay. Okay. And tell me, were you born in the town of Białystok?
No, mate. I was born in town called Ełk. It's place located in Polish Lake District. It's about 100 kilometers away from Białystok.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay. Okay, let me translate this part to the audience. Entonces, aquí Jaro nos dice que nació en 1969 en el pueblo de Ełk, a 100 kilómetros de la ciudad de Białystok. Y como siempre, ustedes ya saben, vamos a utilizar los ya conocidos mapas del canal. En la actualidad, Jaro vive en Inglaterra y tenemos el mapa de Europa, la relación de Inglaterra frente a Polonia, su natal Polonia, y tenemos un close-up de Polonia. Entonces tenemos al noreste del país resaltada la provincia en donde se encuentra la ciudad de Białystok. Se escribe Białystok, pero se pronuncia Białystok porque la L con esa crucecita se pronuncia como U. Y el pueblo de Ełk está a 100 kilómetros de la ciudad de Białystok. Ok, Jaro. So, tell me one thing. Which is the first memory related to music in your life?
First memories that basically music was important part of my life, since I was kid. But I think the massive first impact in the music, my experience was Kate Bush. Basically, when I was a kid, I saw program in Polish telly with Kate Bush and her songs, and that was absolutely blew me away. It showed music could have different angles, and it completely different than normal common, pop music. That time, available to listen in Polish radios and TV. I remember that was deep communist time, so we haven't much, access to old world music at that time. So yeah, Kate Bush was the first one. She showed me, music could be different and even more interesting than, that common, let's say, music.
Okay, so yes, you were born in communist Poland, and besides this impact that Kate Bush had in your life, how big was the contrast with the music that you had access to? Because what could you listen to at that time normally?
No, yeah, it's basically she showed me music could be different. Then of course next step, and probably first step though, thing I started doing later on in my life was founding an album of punk band One Way System, All System Go. I was completely something different. I found it randomly in one of the foreign radio channels.
Okay.
At that time, I only remember I noticed the name of the band, One Way System, and then they played whole album, and that was absolutely blew me away.
Excellent! Wow. Can you repeat the name of the band?
One Way System. An album title was All System Go.
Ok, entonces aquí Jaro nos cuenta que él nació en 1969 y que eran los tiempos de la Polonia comunista. Entonces no era fácil tener acceso a la música del resto del mundo. Era algo bastante distinto encontrar cualquier cosa fuera del espectro comunista, ¿no? De Europa del Este. Y dice que, siendo él bastante joven, descubrió en la televisión a Kate Bush. Que Kate Bush le hizo, que siendo un artista pop, le hizo ver que la música podía ser diferente a lo que normalmente conocía. Entonces, eso le abrió la mente y eso hizo que él tenga curiosidad por ver qué más pasaba en el mundo. Y recuerda también que en ese entonces, un tiempo después, descubrió la banda de punk One Way System con el álbum All System Go, y que eso realmente le hizo avanzar en el campo de la investigación de la música, ¿no? O sea, en este aspecto de descubrir qué música más había en el mundo. Okay, Jaro, it's very interesting to hear those memories from you. Tell me, how old were you when you found out Kate Bush, and how old were you when you found out One Way System?
No, I would say Kate Bush, I was like 8, 9 years old, still kiddo, and One Way System was early 80s, so in something between, to be kid and, teenager, very early, still in my primary school time. Yeah.
Okay. Algo que que está resaltando es la edad que tenía en la época que descubrió esta música. Él tenía más o menos unos 8 o 9 años cuando descubrió Kate Bush en la televisión. Y dice que a inicios de los 80s, cuando tenía 11, 12 años terminando la primaria, ahí fue cuando escuchó por primera vez One Way System. Okay, Jaro. So, I always ask 2 things to my guests. One is about the moment when you found out the existence of truly heavy music. I mean, heavy metal, thrash metal, whatever kind of brutal metal in your life. And the other is when you found out the most extreme music with blast beats and guttural vocals. It's like 2 stages that I always ask them about. So, what do you remember about that?
Yeah, it's maybe wrong question about extreme metal, because I never was into extreme metal. I came toward extreme music through the punk, hardcore punk, then grindcore. Because first Napalm Death releases blew me away. Also first Carcass, that kind of stuff. But long before that, I was into, and still are, to punk music, like Exploited, GBH, Dead Kennedys, that kind of stuff. If we're talking about extreme metal, it was only a few bands really blew me away. I can just mention Autopsy, that was the big one. They're still one of my favorite bands till now. And of course, Raining Blood of Slayer, that's completely kicked me off. And I actually kind of hated to see metal bands can be that extreme, because I was always thinking, heavy metal is crap, punk, hardcore, punk, grindcore, that's the proper music. Raining Blood completely blew me away. And I still love this album, honestly.
All right. So you were seeing like this rivalry between punk and metal, like a competition for who was more extreme, and you were disappointed when you were seeing that metal music was getting more extreme. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's like when I was growing up in the 80s. Basically, that was completely split between punk scene and metal scene. Not like nowadays, metals, punks, everyone coming to the same shows. That was clear, difference between metal, punks, and skinheads. So yeah, I was on that other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I just to just show you, I didn't check my haircut for decades. So this is, always short hair, never long ones. So yeah.
Okay. If it serves you, I can tell you I always have short hair as well.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's no choice, isn't it?
No choice.
Exactly. It's too late for longer. I don't have hair anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, every time it starts growing, I look like an old grumpy man. So I better shape.
Same. They giving me like an extra 15 years or something. So yeah,
something like
keep
that.
them short. Keep them short.
Yeah. Of course, okay. Bueno, aquí.
And another question you said about vocal.
Sorry?
You said that was 2 questions, yes? Second one about the vocal?
2 questions. One was heavy music in general, any kind of heavy music in general, and the other was extreme music like grindcore or Goregrind. So you answered you answered the 2 questions in one.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, grindcore, punk grindcore first, and some beats of metal music.
Yeah.
Still like stuff that probably I would surprise some people, because actually I don't really mind to listen to bands like Candlemas or Cathedral. Yeah, something you know, you can find good music everywhere, to be honest. But my soul, you know, my way to extreme music came from punk, grindcore, not from metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. All right. Entonces, aquí estábamos hablando yo le decía que le voy a hacer dos preguntas. De una, que cómo descubrió el metal extremo y cómo descubrió cómo descubrió la música pesada, el metal en general, y después la música extrema con voces guturales, blast beats y ese tipo de cosas. Y me dice, Pablo, tal vez te equivocaste, la pregunta debió haber ido por otro lado, porque mi gusto por la música pesada no fue por el heavy metal precisamente, sino que fue más por el lado del punk y el hardcore antes de escuchar música extrema. Entonces aquí empezó a decir que al inicio escuchaba The Exploited, GBH, GBH como le dicen algunos, Dead Kennedys, y que solamente le gustaban unas pocas bandas de metal como Autopsy o el disco Raining Blood de Slayer, pero que en realidad él nunca fue muy metalero, que a él le parecía que el heavy metal era una tontera, pero eso era en los 80s, cuando había esta división entre metal y punk. Ahora ya todos se llevan bien, pero que en los 80s había una gran división, y que sí le gustaban bandas de metal que se iban volviendo cada vez más pasadas, pero que a veces le daba un poco de bronca que las bandas de metal estén evolucionando a un nivel tan alto de agresividad, porque decía que era como una competencia por quién era más fuerte, y él siempre estaba apoyando a que el lado punk de la música pesada se vuelva más pesado, y que a veces tenía un poco de pica con el metal, pero claro, con el tiempo le ha ido gustando de todo un poco, y que ahora ya no tiene ningún problema. Y que claro, como la música que él siempre ha hecho en las bandas de las que vamos a hablar es tan fuerte, a mucha gente le sorprende que no escuche bandas que a muchos le gustan, como Candlemass, Cathedral, porque en realidad el alma de Jaro está orientada hacia el punk, que de ahí viene todo esto de descubrir Napalm Death, Carcass, todo lo que son las bandas más pesadas del grindcore, que a él el grindcore le llegó por el lado del punk, lo cual es bastante interesante, bastante válido, ¿no? Ok. Okay, Jaro. So, when did you have your first band? First of all, did you ever play any kind of instrument, or did you go straight to the vocals?
Actually, straight to the vocals. I had some ideas to try play drums or bass, but I think I was too lazy for that. Then, I find out I actually could do some vocals. So basically my first band was called Tomaina.
Tomaina?
Tomaina, yeah. Formed in 1990. And basically I just, when we formed the lineup, I jumped straight to microphone. That's it. So, since I started, joining the bands, I was only vocalist, no instruments.
Okay.
So yeah.
And what kind of music did Tomaina play?
That was band of few lineups. Band was formed in 1990 and ran till 1994, which is the year when I joined Death Infection. Yeah, I joined Death Infection in 1994, yeah, so around 4 years. And basically, music of Tomaina was something started as a really, really raw noise grindcore, and then finally moved even toward like death grind. kind of stuff. So yeah, from noise, then when we start changing people in the lineup, start getting more skills on instruments. So basically, we moved into Goregrind.
Okay.
So only record, only demo we released with Tomaina is music from last period of band. So it's like gore grindish, death grindish, stuff, kind of. Yeah.
So as everything in the first half of the 90s, every time someone was gore grind oriented, there was the Carcass influence that gave it a little bit of death metal touch, right?
Yeah, I think first of all, it was more like early Napalm Death than Carcass.
Okay.
Yeah, plus this one of the first lineups, every single lad in Tomaina was punk. So even after a few changes, part of my mates who left Tomaina, they formed punk band called Krótki Kaszel. It's something, if you translate, it's something like short cough. And yeah, that was basically music was influenced, between punk and really, really harsh, noise grind. Much, much closer to early Napalm Death than Carcass.
Okay.
Then we start moving toward something sounds more like Carcass, but never was close. But basically, that was much, closer Napalm Death than Carcass, to be honest.
All right. Entonces hablábamos de la primera banda de Jaro. Dice que él al inicio sí intentó tocar algo de batería, algo de bajo, pero que le daba como un poquito de pereza dedicarse a aprender todo eso a fondo, y que él agarró directamente el micrófono y fue un vocalista de Grindcore. Su primera banda fue Tomaina, que empezó como un proyecto de grind noise en 1990, y que fue evolucionando. Duró 4 años hasta que se separó de la banda para unirse a Dead Infection. Tuvieron algunos cambios de alineación, y mientras iban haciendo esos cambios de alineación en Tomaina en esos 4 años, pasaron de noise grind a tener un poquito de influencia como death grind, que al final, cuando grabaron algo, tenía un toquecito más de gore grind. Le pregunté si es que obviamente Carcass tuvo algo de influencia en eso, y dice no, era más Napalm Death que Carcass. Y a pesar de que había esa influencia un poquito gorera, un poquito brutal, eso en realidad siempre tuvo el espíritu de los inicios de Napalm Death, y que eso se mantuvo. Pero claro, el sonido fue evolucionando hasta que grabaron algo, y de ahí se une a Dead Infection. Okay, Jaro, and now we enter this chapter of your life, which is Dead Infection. It's a chapter that defined your musical career. So I'm going to explain the people the background of that time, because Dead Infection had been created around 1990, I think, and they had one drummer, Tsiyan, which I think the original name is Sławomir Dzwoniuk. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Good pronunciation, mate.
Thank you very much. Sławomir Dzwoniuk, actually known as Tsiyan, founded the band, the drummer. There were 2 guitarists, Maui and Toha, and there was a bassist vocalist called Kellner, and you replaced Kellner, but you didn't play the bass. So that was the environment you entered in 1994, after when they decided to abandon this Carcass sound to a more extreme gore grind, grindcore kind of thing, and then you enter the picture. So what was your first impression when you, first of all, when you met Ziyan, and then when you entered the band?
Yeah, so basically we need to go back to Tomaina times. I was basically Ziyan, and I don't remember when, but Ziyan came to one of our shows. So basically, I met him. That was early '90s, and of course, you know, seems like he really liked it what Tomaina was doing. So basically, he asked me to play as a support for That Infection for numbers of shows. So we play as a support for That Infection, and you know, so as I'm saying, we met, you know, a while before I joined That Infection. So yeah, when Kellner decided to leave the band, I think I was just first choice to ask if I'm fancy, you know, join That Infection and replace Kellner. And that's it. So I was quite smooth. You know, I knew everyone from the band for a good while already. So it was it wasn't kind of shock movement. It was quite, you know, smooth transition from one band to another. Yeah.
Okay, so it was like something very natural, very spontaneous that just happened.
Yeah. You just see and basically asked me one day, listen, okay, Kellner gone, what's about, you know, if you join us? And basically that they already prepared all songs for first split. Now this part is over with Blood. And Kellner left just before recording vocals for this. So basically that was like, could you come, join us, and record vocals for Split with Blood? What I did, straight on.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Le preguntaba a Jaro, ¿cómo fue que conoció a Ziyan? Tenemos aquí en imágenes la imagen de Ziyan. El verdadero nombre era Sławomir Dzwoniuk, más conocido como Ziyan. Lamentablemente se nos fue de este mundo muy pronto, en el 2020. Y él fue el fundador de Dead Infection. Entonces le preguntaba cómo fue que ese contacto con Ziyan, que era quien manejaba la banda, cómo fue que entró a la banda. Y dice, bueno, en realidad fue bastante sencillo. El tema era que él estaba cantando en Tomaina y que en uno de los conciertos de Tomaina apareció Ziyan, porque ya se conocían, ya eran amigos, y que a Ziyan le gustó cómo Jaro cantaba. Entonces le dijo, mira, nuestro vocalista bajista Kellner acaba de irse, así que podrás venir y acompañarnos en algunos shows, ser un apoyo y además grabar las voces para el split 7 pulgadas con Blood. Entonces, bueno, aquí tengo las imágenes. Hay algunos splits que grabó Jaro. El primero fue el split con la banda alemana Blood, que salió en Morbid Single Productions en 1994. Ya vamos a conversar de los otros más adelante. Entonces es la imagen que tienen a la izquierda de las tres. Y claro, Jaro se unió a Dead Infection, grabó el split con Blood, empezó a salir a shows. Y ahí fue cuando empezó toda esta andanza que marcó historia en el Goregrind mundial de Jaro y bueno, sus compañeros en Dead Infection. Okay, Jaro, before we continue talking about your performance as a vocalist at Dead Infection, I want to ask you something which is about the band itself. You know, there were two guitarists, Maui and Toha. Okay,
Yeah.
Maui and Toha, and well, one thing that should be said is the brutality that the string sound of Dead Infection had. The guitars, the bass were mega brutal. They were unusually brutal. And I want to emphasize this because nowadays in the present, when you talk about high quality grind, people imagine, young people imagine something like crystal clear guitars like Panteros, Slipknot with blast beats. And when they hear something from that time, they say, no, this is raw. But I want to emphasize the fact that the sound that Dead Infection had in the mid-90s was not any kind of raw thing. It was a very well polished, brutal sound. Intentionally brutal, with high quality, and it was massive. It was like a blood to your head, you know. So I want to ask you something about those two guitarists, who are very special people in my opinion. The first question about them is, which of the two had more input in the songwriting and the sound of the band, Maui or Toha?
Now I could say, if we're talking about two of them, it's definitely Toha. If we're thinking about percentage, because can't say Maui, was completely out of making music for the band, but yeah, I think Toha was more involved with creation songs and stuff like that. Yeah, but I tell you something, that it was perfect combination, them two.
Okay.
So that's, mention Toha is only because of amount of songs he made for Dead Infection, but impact, sound, that's the thing. Look, that's when Maui left, Dead Infection never was the same anymore. No, and Dead Infection came back after reunion, before Brain Corrosion. Maui was no longer in the band. I was completely different, Dead Infection. I think Maui and Toha, that was perfect combination on guitars.
Okay.
And this is, and I think, that I could say what they had common was talent, because that was, and they were taking, that was basically everything what they were doing was coming from their, I think, souls, we could say. They really didn't need any extra equipment, any stuff, like now some people buying thousands, the guitar effects and still sound crap. They played on the basic stuff, and that was, yeah, that's it. I think, this is no equipment, no guitars, that was them, people.
All right.
That's it. Same. Same if you think about Sian. He was really great drummer. He wasn't over technical. He got this feeling in the drumming. No plastic, nothing. No. He always hated things like triggers. All this kind of technical crap. He was real drummer. It's really difficult to find, that kind of drummers nowadays, and guitarists too, honestly. People think, all the technology do the job for them, I don't believe in that. That's all about people. So yeah, Toha and Maui, perfect combo at that time.
Okay, perfect combo, wow. And do you remember anything about the guitar gear they had? The guitars, the pedals, the amplifiers they had?
Honestly, don't. What stuff I was using? Honestly, I should prepare, a bit better for this interview, but yeah, really, I wasn't into, guitar stuff like that.
Don't worry.
Yeah, they had, some some random stuff, honestly.
All right.
If you could go back in time and see, for example, see a drum kit in our rehearsal room, you wouldn't even know what was that. That was old made in Poland drum kit. It's like proper vintage one, you know.
Okay.
No one was really looking for all these, you know, super high advanced technical things. So, you know, guitar, effect, and you know, an amplifier. That's it.
That's
and
it.
off.
Amazing.
It's like, I remember, you know, when Tocha was coming on the show, just put little, you know, effect, any amplifier available on the show, on the gig, and that was always, you know, sound. It always sounds perfect. Then at the same time, you got people bringing massive box with 15 effects, and they sounds, you know, absolutely crap comparing to Tocha and Maui. So yeah, nothing about, you know, equipment. That's everything about people.
Okay. Let me tell you, that's amazing, because I want to play huge respect for all the band, because well, later on after the interview I will share some music that I've done. But let me tell you, in the early 2000s, when I was a teenager, I was creating similar kinds of music, and I want to emphasize how difficult it was to have the same quality in the brutality and the tone and the clearness of guitar, because I'm a guitarist. I've been a Goregrind guitarist, and I trying to achieve the standard of sound that Maui and Tocha had, especially on Chapter of Obscene. We will analyze the album later on. It was really difficult. It was really difficult, and if you tell me that they only use the basic equipment, that's even more admirable, because achieving that was such a big task. It took me like 6 years until 2008 to sound as I wanted, and I know how hard it is. So I want to play huge respect for them. They are some of my guitar heroes of all times. Okay, so let's translate this part. Ok, entonces estábamos hablando de cómo estaba conformada la banda. No había un bajista oficial. Jaro grababa el bajo, Tocha grababa el bajo, y había dos guitarristas, Maui y Tocha. Vamos a poner la imagen de la alineación en esa época. Este es el reverso del disco Chapter of Accidents. A la izquierda pueden ver a Tsiyan. Ahí están escritos los nombres. A un costado. A la izquierda está, vamos de izquierda a derecha, Tsiyan. Nuestro invitado de hoy, Jaro, está con la capucha. Tocha es el que está de celeste. Y Maui es el que está con la capucha roja y la chaqueta negra. Entonces, Tocha y Maui, los dos de la derecha, eran los guitarristas. Y le digo, ¿cómo conseguían ese sonido increíble, ultra brutal de Dead Infection? Porque hay algo que yo, Pablo, quiero enfatizar, y es lo difícil de conseguir, que era el sonido de esas guitarras. Porque, seamos honestos, si hoy en día hablamos de grindcore de alta calidad, la gente empieza a imaginarse guitarras cristalinas como Pantera o Slipknot y puestas blast beats. Pero no, en ese entonces sí había muy alta calidad, al contrario de lo que se puede creer. Había alta calidad y mucha brutalidad en la música. Entonces, yo quiero enfatizar lo difícil que era alcanzar esos tonos. Porque bueno, yo mismo en bandas que he hecho, que bueno, ahorita no viene al caso citar las grabaciones o las bandas, pero yo mismo traté durante muchos años de alcanzar esos estándares. Me demoré 6 años en sonar como yo quería, que es un poco parecido a eso. Y es dificilísimo llegar a sonar como sonaba Dead Infection. Dificilísimo, porque es mucha brutalidad, pero al mismo tiempo con claridad. hacer eso es realmente difícil. Y les puedo decir yo que lo he vivido en carne propia. Años pasaron hasta poder hacer algo en ese estilo. Entonces le preguntaba a Jaro cómo era tocar con ellos, y dice, bueno, era la combinación perfecta. Era la combinación perfecta durante, o sea, mientras estuvo esa alineación, era como el combo ideal. ¿Por qué? Yo le digo, ¿quién tuvo más peso en el sonido? Dice, en cuestión de creatividad e iniciativa, definitivamente más Toja. Toja era el que tomaba más, era el que como que dirigía más la parte musical, tenía más ideas, estaba pendiente de todo. Pero el rato que todos estábamos en el escenario, en palabras de Jaro, dice, estábamos en el escenario, los dos juntos creaban una magia, y junto con Cian también. Entonces le digo, ¿cómo era esto? Y dice, primero había esa magia especial, y que el rato que Maui se fue de la banda, ya no fue lo mismo. Sonábamos bien, pero ya no era lo mismo porque había esa magia especial. Le digo, ¿y en qué consistía? Y dice, consistía en que todos usaban solo los equipos básicos y sonaban increíble. Ahí puedes darte cuenta de que se trataba de las personas y no de los equipos carísimos. Había gente con equipos mucho más caros, tanto de batería como de guitarras, pero que no sonaban ni la mitad de bien que lo que esta banda sonaba. Entonces él resalta la importancia del criterio musical. Por ejemplo, dice, Cian era un gran baterista, no usaba nada artificial, no le gustaban los triggers, no le gustaban las ayudas digitales, no le gustaba nada de eso. Él simplemente era puro talento y le gustaba tocar duro, preciso y todo al grano, todo cañón. Y además, Maui y Toja usaban solo guitarras sencillas, pedales sencillos de distorsión y unos amplificadores normales bien ecualizados. Eso era todo. Entonces, ahí podemos darnos cuenta de la calidad de músicos que no necesitaban esos grandes presupuestos, no necesitaban andar comprando que el Mesa Boogie, que el Cabeza al Marshall y todas esas cosas. Era un combo perfecto de unos musicazos que tocaban, pero una música recontra bestia. Entonces, sí quiero enfatizar ese aspecto, el aspecto del talento en el oído, para aprovechar al máximo recursos básicos que simplemente otros pasan por alto, y que por más que tengan grandes presupuestos, no es lo mismo. No es lo mismo. Ok. Alright. So, you entered Dead Infection in 1994. You entered Dead Infection in 1994. So tell me, what was your evolution inside the band after you recorded the split with Blood?
Yeah.
How did things evolve before a chapter of accidents?
Basically, that was short period between recording Split with Blood and going to studio and record a chapter of accident. It's actually all songs were ready at that time for album. If you check, you can clearly see you got same songs on this Split, and you got same songs in a chapter of accident. So yeah, that was basically everything was ready to go. Just what I needed, just to put my vocals to the song and go to studio. That's it. Basically, that's it.
Okay. And when you recorded a chapter of accident, I think you entered Hertz studio, right?
Yeah, no. Hertz was brain corrosion.
Oh, okay.
A chapter was recorded in Isabellin studio.
Okay, Isabellin,
yeah.
Okay. And what do you remember about Isabellin Studio? What did it have anything special, different from the others, or was it just a normal studio?
I surprise you. Isabellin Studio is was. I'm not sure if they still exist, but I think so. At that time, that was one of the biggest recording studio in Poland. It was recorded all these big names, if we're talking about Polish popular music. So basically, it was Morbid Records idea, after surgical disembowelment. They realized this massive potential in that infection. So they wanted to go big straight on. So basically was, listen, we got money, just go to good studio and record good album. That's all. So basically I think that was an idea with Isabellin Studio. So yeah, that was kind of, when we arrived there, that was like kind of revolution in this studio. Because even a sound engineer at that time, Jarek Pruszkowski, he was the drummer, one of the biggest Polish pop bands. So I was studio engineer from completely different world than that infection. So maybe that was one of the factors. A chapter of accident sounds like sounds, because that was like between our ideas to play absolutely extreme stuff, and really, really professional sound engineer and really, really professional equipment in the studio. So yeah, it was like studio, with home attached, to studio for the bands, So basically, we spent like over a week, like actually the studio is in the middle of forest, so that was like kind of holiday camp.
Okay.
With recording, yeah, at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, were you the first extreme music band that recorded at the Isabellin Studio?
I think first and last one at the same time.
First and last. Okay.
I don't remember anyone else, recording that kind of music in that studio.
Okay.
But listen, it's not like, they had enough of us. They basically, as long as I remember, we spent really, really nice time there. And Jarek, sound engineer, he basically took that recording as a kind of challenge. For him was something like, wow, it's something new. He got really, really into it. So yeah, I was quiet, I don't know, no one else from that extreme scene never came after us, I think, to be honest, because of price of studio.
Oh,
maybe. But I said it wasn't our money, that was Morbid Records, they had some funny idea, Yeah, let's become something like ABBA or someone, I don't know.
Okay.
What they were thinking, yeah. So yeah.
And can you tell me the names of some pop bands that used to record in there?
Oh, it's most of band at that time. Baim is the one that was exactly Jarek Pruszkowski. Baim.
Baim.
B-A-J-M. Baim.
Baim. Okay.
Yeah. You got lots. Listen, I think probably if you tap Isabellin Studio, I bet it will pop up massive list of big one. Of course, the names wouldn't say anything to you because there's mostly bands popular in Poland only. Okay. But yeah, big ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe even Doda recorded there.
Who?
Maybe Doda recorded there at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Maybe after that interview I will check just to check the list. Okay. Definitely.
Okay, that's
massive studio, really, rap is like, massive mansion in the middle of forest with massive recording studio.
Okay, but I have to, if it is that way, and you say that Jarek took it as a challenge.
Yeah.
So, do you remember any part of the process that Jarek did especially for you?
yeah, he had lots of ideas. Even, kind of funny stuff. As long as I remember, was one of them to put the microphone into the drinking glass. So put basically between amplifier speaker and recording microphone glass. That's kind of funny things, I don't know. They probably use it in popular music, stuff like that. And yeah, he was really, really into. I was,
Okay.
I was somewhere aside, I wasn't really into, when they were recording. I was quite, tired and bored, at that time in that studio. So I had many walks, around the mansion,
Okay.
walking around the forest and things like that, and staying all day, in the studio.
Okay.
And I was waiting for my turn.
So you're telling me about putting the microphone for vocals inside that?
No, for guitar.
For guitar. Okay. Okay, for guitar. Okay, that's very interesting. Let me
Yeah, I
translate
don't know
this
if
part because it's
you can try,
fascinating.
but I don't know what's effect will be.
Sure, let's try. Let's see. All right. Okay. Entonces, aquí entramos en una parte muy especial, que es la grabación del disco A Chapter of Accidents, que salió en 1995. A ver, por aquí lo tengo. Bueno, aquí tenemos la versión censurada, porque la versión que puedes, la portada que está dentro de la tapa, que se muestra aquí, no se puede mostrar. Es una cabeza, es la cara de un hombre en terrible estado. Entonces, bueno, mostramos la portada que es posible. Aquí el disco se llama A Chapter of Accidents, un capítulo de accidentes, sacado por Morbid Records en 1995. Le digo, bueno, ¿cómo fue la evolución de tuya dentro de la banda hasta que grabaste este disco? Y Jaro cuenta que pasó muy poco tiempo desde que entró a la banda hasta que grabó el disco, todo en el año 94, y el disco salió en el 95. Y que fue una experiencia bastante curiosa, que grabaron en Isabelin Studios, que es uno de los estudios más grandes en donde graban artistas pop de Polonia. Un estudio mega profesional y súper caro. Entonces le digo, ¿cómo financiaron? Y dice que después del éxito que tuvo Dead Infection en el primer disco Surgical Disembowelment, Morbid Records vio un gran potencial en la banda. Morbid Records vio un gran potencial en Dead Infection. Y entonces les dijo, muchachos, tengo un buen presupuesto, les puedo pagar un estudio profesional, busquen lo más profesional que haya en Polonia. Y entonces fueron a Isabelin Studios. Y le digo, ¿cómo fue la experiencia? Y bueno, cuenta toda una serie de cosas, ¿no? Primero, esto que hay es del lugar donde han ido siempre una gran cantidad de artistas pop de Polonia, artistas desconocidos para Latinoamérica, pero que en Polonia son conocidos. Una de las bandas más populares es Baim, B-A-J-M, pero se pronuncia Baim. Y también hay otras. Yo le digo, tal vez la cantante de pop Doda, la que era novia de Nergal de Behemoth, Doda, dice, no sé, pero no me sorprendería que haya pasado por ahí, porque todos los popstars de Polonia pasaban por ese estudio. Y claro, ahí fue como que fue un salto de calidad impresionante. Este es el disco que marcó la historia de Dead Infection, y por eso es recordado por mucha gente. Y es lo que yo les decía, el sonido es muy brutal, y sí, tiene gran calidad, a pesar de lo que muchos puedan pensar ahora, ¿no? Entonces, el productor fue Jarek Pruszkowski, un grandísimo profesional que tomó todo como un gran reto. Y Jaro recuerda el tiempo que pasó en ese estudio como bastante agradable. Estaba en medio del bosque, en medio de la nada, que a veces salía a caminar, que fue prácticamente como tomarse unas vacaciones en el campo, y que fue bastante tranquilo el ambiente, ¿no? Que a veces se aburría un poco, salía a caminar, después hacía lo que el productor le decía. Yo le digo, ¿qué cosas hacía el productor para adaptarse a la banda? Porque era una banda totalmente distinta a lo que Jarek estaba acostumbrado. Y dice, tenía muchas ideas. Dice, por ejemplo, una de las ideas que se le ocurrieron a él fue poner el micrófono para grabar el amplificador de guitarra dentro de un vaso de vidrio, para darle un tono especial que vaya a saber, vayan ustedes a saber qué hacía exactamente eso, pero que fue uno de los experimentos que hizo, que se lo tomó como un reto personal y que llevó la experiencia al límite, ¿no? Y entonces esto marcó una gran diferencia en el sonido. Ok, Jaro. So, we are in 1995. We are talking about chapter of Obscene. It was already recorded. Morbid Records released it, and then it provoked a big impact in the extreme music community. Do you remember any reaction, any special situation that occurred or took place after the album was released?
No, really, I don't really understand till now why this album was that massive impact in extreme music.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, it's one of my recordings. That's all, in my personal view.
Okay.
Of course, I'm not that person who really listen to my own, records and things like that. So, yeah, I was quite, surprised, that this album made that massive, impact. To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure even honestly, I'm not sure if I ever listened to entire album in once.
Oh, really?
Personally, honestly, I don't. To be honest, I don't like, mostly. I got few, let's say, favorite ones, but yeah, mostly I'm not listening to my own recordings.
Okay.
That's it. So yeah, I'm wrong person to ask. What's happened.
Okay.
After
but
we released that album.
Okay, my question was more focused to your opportunities in the for playing live. I mean, did you feel any good reception of the album? Do you feel any reception in extreme radio shows? Any kind of increase in the post service with letters from fans or things like that?
Yeah, of course, that was massive, response for that. Start playing lots of shows, and yeah, we basically at some point we were everywhere. To be honest, one of the most bizarre information was information from Morbid Records. They said they checked the chart of best-selling albums in some chain music shop in Germany or something. Honestly, I'm not sure, what kind of chart was that, but at some point on 1 week, a chapter of Accident was in 17th place, the best-selling albums of entire music. As far as I remember at that time, do you remember something like Babylon Zoo?
Not personally,
Yeah,
but I
some
suppose it
Spaceman,
was something...
yeah, that was, as far as I remember, at that week, the Babylon Zoo album was on the first place, because that was a chart of all type of music, that the best-selling albums in the music shop. So basically, at some point, A Chapter of Accident jumped to 17 location on 100 albums. So yeah, it was big for a second, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
This changed nothing in my life, so yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about the two perspectives, your personal perspective and the audience perspective. So in your personal life, it is a normal album, a normal recording of your life, because you have a long history of in extreme music.
Yeah.
But it had a massive impact in sales, in terms of sales in the mid-90s. So it was probably quite surprising to see such a good reaction from people.
Yeah, it was, anyway, I would tell you, it was quite funny for me when we started doing more and more shows. And every single time when we were coming to a new place we've never been before, people were expecting some kind of, let's call it rock stars or something, Then after meeting us, they were so surprised we are just normal lads like everyone else. So yeah, some people were expecting, it's like how people can imagine, people from the band. Especially when you're popular, some maybe kind of people, they don't want to even, mess, contact with other people, just going straight to backstage, going on stage, throw the drumsticks and guitar picks after the show and disappear. But no, it wasn't like that in our case. We have always been, part of scene, part of people coming to the shows, is no bloody rockstarism, crap like that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's pretty wonderful. Ok, esta parte es súper interesante, porque yo le preguntaba cómo fue todo después de la grabación de Chapter of Accidents. Y bueno, me habla desde dos perspectivas, la perspectiva personal y la del público, ¿no? Entonces, desde un punto de vista personal, Jaro no está tan apegado a esa grabación, no está tan ligado a ese recuerdo, porque para él es una grabación más en su carrera. Tenemos que recordar que Jaro ha hecho muchas grabaciones y todas muy buenas, y que él nunca se sienta a escuchar sus propias grabaciones, a disfrutar sus propias grabaciones, sino que dice que incluso él no recuerda alguna vez haberse sentado a escuchar todo el disco de inicio a fin, que él simplemente hace la música que le gusta, pero él no se queda anclado a lo que ha hecho. Ahora, en cuanto a la respuesta del público, perdón, en cuanto a la respuesta del público, dice que fue una respuesta increíble, que fue masiva, porque primero les aparecieron propuestas para tocar en shows por todos lados, y que hubo un momento en el que Morbid Records les comentó que estaba en la lista de los 100 discos más vendidos de Alemania, de toda Alemania, y que de esos 100 discos más vendidos, Dead Infection, el Chapter of Accidents de Dead Infection alcanzó el puesto 17 en los cuadros de popularidad. El primero era el disco Babylon Zoo, pero Dead Infection estaba 17, y que se vendía en las tiendas de discos de Alemania, que se vendía como pan caliente. Y claro, empezaron a ser tan populares que cuando la gente iba a los shows, se imaginaban que The Infection era una especie como de rockstar y ese tipo de cosas, pero que se llevaban una gran sorpresa al ver que ellos no desaparecían después de bajarse del escenario, sino que compartían con la gente, conversaban, tenían buenos diálogos y que siempre les importó la gente, siempre eran amigables, eran tipos normales. Y a la gente eso como que le daba algo así como una sorpresa súper grande, ver que eran personas normales, eran gente normal como cualquier otro, que simplemente tocaban una música súper bestia. Entonces fue la popularidad y la buena reputación de Dead Infection fue creciendo exponencialmente en los años 95 o 96. Ok, Jaro, and I think that it was the same period of time when Grind Over Europe took place.
Yeah.
Okay, in a few words, how would you describe the experience of playing at the tour of Grind Over Europe with many important bands in the world?
Yeah, it was, what can I say? That was, experience of my life. Basically, because of that tour, I made lots of friendship. They're still going well till now. No, I'm still pretty close to Naru. That time CSSO, now Butcher ABC. I basically visit in Japan every year, so we meet on regular basis every year. We have a few drinks together, nice chats. Yeah, it's friendship for life. Also, not only Naru, but same people from Spanish Hemorrhage. At the one, lots of supporting bands like lads from Inhume, things like that. Yeah, experience of my life, mate. And, it's made massive impact on me and my life, to be honest. Yeah, really nice time. Lots of fun, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. En este punto, cuando la banda creció tanto, ellos llegaron a tocar en el festival Grind Over Europe, que incluyó a bandas gigantescas como Clotted Symmetric Sexual Organ, la banda de Narutoshi Sekine, el dueño de Obliteration Records. Estuvo también la banda española Hemorrhage, estuvo Inhume. Claro, todos estos junto a Dead Infection. Bueno, algunas bandas que fueron de gira por toda Europa. Se llamó Grind Over Europe. Grind sobre Europa. Dice que fue una de las experiencias más importantes de su vida. Dice, la experiencia de mi vida. Porque ahí se generaron amistades de por vida. Que todavía es muy cercano con Naru. Cada vez que alguno de los dos viaja, puede ser al Japón o cuando Jaro va al Japón o cuando Naru va a Europa Central, se dan un gran abrazo, pasan un buen rato conversando. También con los españoles Hemorrhage, con los Inhume, gran amistad, que fue algo súper importante en ese tiempo. Alright, very interesting. So, well, and now we are covering with a little bit less detail the rest of your career with Dead Infection. Okay, so after that chapter of accidents, you recorded a few splits. I think, let me see, I have it here. The split with Malignant Tumor, the split with Clotted Symmetric Sexual Organ. Did you feel the same kind of magic inside the band, or did anything change for those recordings?
No, that was continuation, to be honest. We really enjoyed to start making new material after a chapter was released. And that was actually that session we recorded for both splits. So that was one session in studio. Yeah, that was actually what we wanted to to do. What we wanted, that's how we wanted to sound in the next album. Yeah, it was good way. Actually, if you notice, if you can check any of our live show recordings, some videos on YouTube, basically all these songs from both splits, they actually dominated in the set list before split, before that infection, split. So yeah, basically last period before band split, we actually based most of the set on these old songs from both splits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And then you recorded this album full of covers called The Greatest Shits, which I think is very funny. And there are covers of many extreme bands, but you also include a cover of the Bee Gees. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy idea actually. To be honest, that was big part of being in that infection was drinking, partying together. So yeah, we were quite famous for that. Some of the weekends, instead of playing, let's say, normal rehearsals, we basically were meeting in the rehearsal room just to have a drink and having lots of fun, making jokes. So yeah, sometimes we spent a couple of days, like Fridays, Saturdays, without playing any songs. We actually were going to a license shop for some drinks and coming back to our room and just keep drinking and having fun. So basically, for example, that Bee Gees things, that was actually my idea. Actually, we had in our rehearsal room, we had small radio, which we listened to while drinking, and at some point they start playing Staying Alive of Bee Gees. So basically I put my amplifier on, stuck microphone to the radio speaker, so all these songs start playing loud through the vocal speakers, and I said to Cian, I said, listen, jump behind the drums and just play. Just like that was like bloody joke, and basically, at some point we find out this quite funny idea, and all these other songs. That basically The Greatest Shit is a compilation on that kind of silly things.
Okay.
So basically, when we started recording that album, we said, yeah, we definitely need to add this drum version of Staying Alive, Grindcore version, drum version of Staying Alive, yeah, and stuff like that, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy idea. Don't ask me more. It's just like, yeah, even you got this kind of psalms, sounds like a priest in a church. On beginning and end, yeah, we had one of our friends was visiting us quite often in rehearsal room, and that was his idea one day. He basically put some sound effect to make his voice sounds like a priest in the church, and start just reading absolutely some stupid things. Like one of these psalms is about battery, car battery, so basically it sounds like like priest in the church, but actually what it's all about is just absolutely random crap. So yeah. So at some point we found we had that much silly crap ready to record, so we just went to studio. At that time, that Salman studio was basically behind the wall, our rehearsal room. So we just went there and we just recorded all this random crap. We put all together and released as The Greatest Shits. Yeah.
Okay, very funny.
Yeah.
Okay, bueno, hablábamos de la evolución de la banda después de Chapter of Accidents. Entonces, vinieron los splits de los que estábamos hablando antes. Por aquí tengo las imágenes. Es del split con Dead Infection con Malignant Tumor, sacado por Obscene Productions en el 98, y el split con Clotted Symmetric Sexual Organ por Morbid Records también ese mismo año. Ambos fueron parte de la misma sesión. Entonces, Jaro lo que dice es que si una persona chequea ahora los videos en vivo de esa época y pone atención, se va a dar cuenta de que muchas de las canciones en vivo que tocaban en ese entonces eran simplemente parte de estos splits, que no solo tocaban canciones del chapter, sino también de los splits. Entonces fue un momento bastante chévere, y yo le digo, bueno, ¿y cómo fue que que se les ocurrió hacer esta serie de covers en este disco que lo titularon The Greatest Shits? The Greatest Shits, y que salió en el 98 por Obscene Productions. Son un montón de covers de bandas importantes, pero también hay jodas. Hay la voz de alguien hablando como un sacerdote. Hay la canción Staying Alive de los Bee Gees con batería Grindcore. Entonces le digo, ¿cómo fue que se les ocurrió tanta cosa? Y lo que me dice es, bueno, simplemente hubo una época en la que estábamos súper relajados. Muchas veces íbamos a ensayar y terminábamos así pasando de pura joda. Era como que todo súper chistoso. Hacíamos covers, pero más que nada nos divertíamos, dice Jaro. Así que empezaron a darse cuenta de que tenían covers y algunas ideas locas con las cuales divertirse, y fueron al estudio. Dice, en realidad esto de los Bee Gees fue idea de Jaro, y que a él, que estaban escuchando la canción en la radio, y que dijeron, a ver, pongámosle play, consigamos una grabación en donde haya esa canción, pongámosle play, y que con el micrófono y el amplificador de voz, Jaro empezó a apuntarle a la radio, y que le dijo a Tsiyan, ponle una batería Grindcore, y que fue entonces cuando Tsiyan empezó a tocar, a hacer esos ritmos chistosos, a seguir la batería Grindcore detrás de la pista de la canción de los Bee Gees. Y además había un amigo de ellos que siempre iba al cuarto de ensayos, y que empezó a grabar como que daba un discurso de misa, como si fuera un cura, como si fuera así un sacerdote, y que en realidad no dice nada de religioso, sino que habla de tonterías, así como la batería del carro, o cosas así cotidianas que no tienen nada que ver con lo religioso, con lo personal, ni nada. Y que pasaron en realidad una gozadera todo este tiempo. Él describe este setlist como random crap, como así basurita al azar, como tonterías al azar. Entonces ahí fue cuando tuvieron un gran momento de diversión, ¿no? Okay, Jaro, I suppose that the lineup of the Greatest Hits was the same as in 1994, 1995, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same people.
Same people. And then the band ended for the first time. What happened then?
Yeah, basically, that was Tsiyan's decision. He got married at that time, and basically he decided, to change his life. Just become, husband, happy husband, just focus on the family, or more wife and work than continue playing music. So yeah, that was his decision. And also, not many people know, but Dead Infection on the best lineup, could say Coda, the best lineup. That was a group of men with really strong characters, So it was, we as a band, we were really, really, good, well-oiled machine, to create music, play shows and things like that. But was also lots of tension there. If you work, the people with different characters, strong characters, it's always will be tension there. I'm not saying it was kind of nasty way, but it was quiet. For Cian always wanted to be a kind of main man who deciding everything for the band. But of course, in our case wasn't really going well because we got different ideas. Cian wanted to record something, release something, then someone of us said no, it's not great idea. That was so yeah, I think at some point he just had enough of that, and plus but I think main reason was getting married and just decide, yeah, that's it, this is like, this playing music is silly things, I need to focus now on the wife, home, and, work, and this usual crap,
Okay.
Usual, stuff, yeah.
And let me ask you, I want to make sure I got your point. Were you saying that sometimes you have okay, I understand all this point about different men with the strong characters and everything. Yes, all of this. But were you saying that sometimes you wanted to make some decisions, but it was not easy because the others also wanted to make decisions?
Yeah, it's not nothing serious, but for example, Cian was so easy to with to releasing, but he had lots of ideas to releasing lots of Death Infection stuff. Some absolutely random stuff. It's like live recordings, and release this and release that. And for example, I was telling him, what's the reason to do it? It's like it's a little bit, pointless. Same. Like for example, what's the point releasing the best of Death Infection stuff? You know what I mean? Put few songs from different albums and put them together on one record. And I don't know what he had that kind of ideas. I just was basically personally was me. I said it's absolutely stupid idea. He said in my eyes that was like kind of rip off. I hate all these ideas like the best of. Yeah, if you want discography, then just buy the albums and keep them separate. Or is this yeah. Yeah, you got like some funny ideas for funny deals for recording. But this is one of examples. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay.
So I remember he basically wanted to release one of these, the best of, and I found out in last minute, and I just basically stopped it. I said, no, it's not going ahead. It's absolutely stupid idea. As I always hated, that kind of, stuff like the best of.
Okay.
Crap.
But you didn't have any big fight because of that, just a disagreement or something like that.
No, it wasn't like, that was everything all right. Little bips and bobs like that, same, it's like, Cian and Tocha, I'm telling you something, Tocha never was easy character.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, sometimes it was too much for Cian, what he was doing. Some situations just make people, tired, especially when you together on the tour and staying together 24 hours, 7 days per week.
Okay.
So yeah, but listen, don't get me wrong, we still could, exist,
Okay, there was nothing big, but it wasn't easy to get along, spending time together 24/7 on tour and doing stuff together, deciding what to release, what not to release, and stuff like that. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Now, let me translate this part. Okay. Ok. Entonces, bueno. Bueno, aquí estábamos hablando sobre cómo era la convivencia en la banda, las razones por las que Dead Infection se separó en el año 99. Y claro, yo le decía, o sea, ¿qué pasó? Y lo que me decía Jaro es algo sencillo, que simplemente Tsiyan decidió casarse y decidió jugar el papel del esposo abnegado, el esposo dedicado, ser una persona tranquila, normal, etcétera, etcétera. Y que además fue un buen momento para que eso pase, porque en Dead Infection todos han sido siempre buenos amigos, pero lo que ocurría también es que todos eran buenos amigos, pero con un carácter bastante fuerte. Entonces, ese carácter les ayudaba a funcionar como una máquina bien engrasada, por decirlo de alguna forma, pero que siempre había pequeños momentos de tensión. Había pequeños momentos en los que no estaban de acuerdo, nada que les haga separarse ni pelearse, pero que estaban en desacuerdo en algunas cosas. Por ejemplo, a veces Tsiyan decía que le gustaría sacar un disco con el típico título The Best of, lo mejor de Dead Infection, con pocas canciones de cada grabación ahí metidas. Entonces Jaro le decía, no, eso es una idea tonta, porque quien quiera escuchar, que escuche las grabaciones completas, los discos completos, pero no partes, como simplemente para reutilizar cosas que ya se había sacado, que es una forma como de no ser tan justo con el público, según la opinión de Jaro. O por ejemplo Toja, que es un gran músico, nunca tuvo un carácter suave, y que a pesar de ser genial en la guitarra, siempre tenía algún pequeño desencuentro con Tsiyan mientras estaban de gira y ese tipo de cosas. Y que claro, pasar juntos 24/7 no era fácil. Entonces eso ya hizo que el momento para tomar la decisión de separarse en el 99 haya sido adecuado. All right, Jaro, and now we move on to the period of the year 2000, in which you formed your small project, if I may call it like that, with Toja Coffee Grinders. It was you on vocals, Toja on guitars, and I suppose he did the drum programming, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, what can you tell me about the story behind this project? Because you only had one release, the Grindcore brothers, and it didn't last for much. So what do you remember about the Coffee Grinders?
Basically, this first of all, this closing business called Dead Infection by Tsiyan took us by massive surprise. So Tsiyan just told us, okay boys, it's all done, it's all finished. But me and Toja, we still wanted to play the music, and we still had some ideas. So basically at some point we said, maybe it's a time to just recording, something, just two of us. We can't continue with That Infection, but we still want to continue making music. So we decide, just make, the Coffee Grinders.
Okay.
The records and stuff, that's it. So very simple, like that. Some kind of continuation of That Infection. Just as a duo. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And where did you record that?
That was home recording.
Okay.
So basically, I remember of course, Toha made all the drum programming, everything at home. And I recorded vocals in Pierścień, who became guitarist later on in Death Infection. Yeah, I recorded in his house. He got some, let's say, semi-professional studio at that time. So yeah, we recorded vocals there. It's homemade stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
I suppose you didn't play live and it was just a recording and you enjoyed doing it.
No. Just recorded, released on CDR. Mm-hmm. Later on, I don't even remember who released that as a split with Purulent Sperma Canal.
Oh, yes.
And that's it. That's the end of the story of Coffee Grinders, to be honest.
Okay. Alright. Entonces aquí vamos a un periodo de transición alrededor del año 2000 en el que Toha y Jaro hicieron este proyecto llamado Coffee Grinders, hicieron la grabación de Grindcore Brothers. Le pregunto cómo fue que eso llegó cómo grabaron eso. Dice que en realidad fue una grabación casera que Toha grabó las cuerdas y el drum machine en su casa con sus propios equipos, y que las vocales las grabó Jaro en el estudio de Pierścień, un amigo que tenía sus equipos de sonido y que después de unos años sería parte de Dead Infection, ya cuando se había reformado y tanto Jaro como Toha habían dejado la banda. Y eran equipos semiprofesionales los de Pierścień, y bueno, quedó una grabación divertida, bastante chévere, con un sonido bastante claro, bastante potente, que fue como una especie de evolución de Dead Infection, pero sin Ziyan. Y se puede notar claramente que gran parte del sonido que existía en Dead Infection lo ponía Toha, ¿no? Lo ponían Toha y Jaro. Entonces tuvo varias versiones. Hubo el CDR que se sacó en el 2000. La misma grabación se sacó en el 2002, haciendo split con Purulent Sperma Canal de la República Checa. Y salió una tercera versión en el 2016 en Grindfather Productions en cassette. Alright, I think that at the same time, Ziyan was doing his one-man band with drum machine called Off to Gore, I think. But it only...
Spineless.
Spineless? Yes, Spineless was the band, and the recording was Off to Gore. And it was very funny, because I think it's a very funny period of time, because you did a home recording with drum machine, and he also did a home recording with drum machine. So it was a funny coincidence. Do you remember anything about that? Any impression that you had about it?
Not really. That actually it came as a big surprise for me. Ziyan actually recorded it, because that's what he said before we finish with Death Infection. He said he's not interested with making any music right now. So I was quite surprised, that was quite a surprise for me. He actually recorded that. So yeah.
Okay, a big surprise. But no
looks like he was bored or something, or his nature started calling him back, to that kind of stuff,
Okay.
Yeah.
His nature.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a surprise for me when I found out, he actually recorded, Spineless demo. Yeah.
Sure. Very interesting. Okay. En este periodo de tiempo en el que salió Coffee Grinders, también ocurrió algo bastante gracioso, que fue el hecho de que Ziyan grabó en su casa un proyecto llamado Spineless, y que no fue hecho con baterías reales, fue voces, guitarras y con un drum machine, una batería programada. La banda se llamaba Spineless, el demo se llamaba Oath to Gore, Oda al Gore, y todas las canciones se llamaban Oda al Gore, en realidad. Fue algo bastante gracioso y entonces mi pregunta fue, ¿qué impresión tuviste de ese proyecto de Tsiyan? Y dice, bueno, en realidad fue una sorpresa, porque Tsiyan acabó de Infection diciendo que ya no le interesaba hacer ningún tipo de música ni nada, pero parece que su naturaleza le estaba ganando y que por ahí ya sentía la necesidad de volver a tocar de una u otra manera. Entonces hizo este proyecto Spineless, Tsiyan solito. Alright, and after that, in the year 2002, 2003, the defection gets reformed just by the three of you, Tsiyan, Toha, and Jaro. Okay, how did it happen?
Yes, actually, it was another surprise, when Tsiyan contacted me and he said, listen, I want to start that infection again, and what I think about to rejoin it with him. But to be honest, Toha wasn't on his list. We restarted that infection with other two lads, and basically that was quite, that's basically I had kind of objection, why we start playing in that infection again with, let's say, two random people. I never met them before. I don't know. Tsiyan found them somewhere. Not sure about all this story, but basically we played one show with them. If you check on YouTube, should be somewhere. Fuck the Commerce. 93 or something. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, and basically, personally, yeah. So exactly, if you see this one, there's me, Tsiyan, and other two lads. So actually, personally, I think it was massive disaster, this show. It was like first show of that infection after reunion, but it was like no chemistry, nothing, was absolutely, I didn't like it. I really didn't enjoy, to be on the stage doing that. So basically when we finished after the show, I spoke to Tsiyan and said, listen, we can't carry on with those people. I said, his only way is to contact Toha and ask him if he fancy, join us again. So basically what we done, we made a little bit, lineup change. And basically, we contact Toha. Toha said, yeah, that's all right. And then one of them, these lads, Kuzar, he was with us for a while. We actually played this Obscene Extreme Festival. First after reunion, still with Kuzar in the squad. So it was me, Tsiyan, Toha, Kuzar. And they basically, after a while, we just decided to cut the lineup just to three of us. Maui wasn't an option because Maui already completely lost interest. So, music, he changed his, hobbies and ideas. And yeah, so that we basically, after a few changes, we just, cleared lineup, stood me, Toha, and Tsiyan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you were responsible for Toha coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. Saying, hey, there is no chemistry. We need this guy, and you.
Tsiyan should know that anyway. But I think that was this kind of, still little tension between. I think Cian wanted some easygoing band.
Okay.
That was the reason, for choosing, them two lads. But yeah, I said no. If we coming back and we want to come back on full blast, we need Tocha back. So yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Ok. Entonces, ¿qué pasó después de Coffee Grinders? ¿Qué pasó después de Spineless? Resulta que, para sorpresa de Jaro, un día Cian le llama y le dice: Jaro, estoy reformando Dead Infection. Ven, únete a la banda, ¿no? Entonces Jaro se une, y al inicio no estaba Tocha. Estaban dos guitarristas. Ojo, todo esto es sin bajista oficial. Estaban dos guitarristas que, en palabras de Jaro, probablemente Cian les había llamado para que sea una banda fácil de manejar, una banda en la que no haya mayor tensión, como había con Tocha, que tiene un carácter fuerte y todo lo demás. Pero el rato que Jaro se une a la banda con estos dos guitarristas, no sentía esa química, no sentía que había magia en la banda, no sentía que era lo mismo. Y tocaron una vez en el Fog de Commerce con estos dos guitarristas, y a Jaro le pareció que fue una presentación desastrosa, que no había feeling. Entonces Jaro habla con Cian y le dice: no, ¿sabes qué? Si quieres que esto funcione, necesitamos a Tocha. Llámale a Tocha y sigamos tocando. Entonces, claro, le reemplazaron a uno de los guitarristas con Tocha, y el otro guitarrista, Hussar, estuvo un tiempo más, les acompañó hasta el Obscene Extreme, pero realmente el feeling era entre los tres amigos de siempre. Entonces, después de eso ya se quedaron solo Jaro, Tocha, Cian. Como podemos ver aquí en las imágenes, Jaro, Tocha, Cian era la combinación mágica ahí. Maui no regresó a la banda porque simplemente había perdido el interés, tenía otros hobbies, otros intereses, otras ideas que poner en práctica, por otro lado, otras cosas. Entonces se quedaron los tres. Y ahí fue que llegamos al siguiente capítulo, el álbum Brain Corrosion. Ok, Jaro, so the three of you I think it was the three of you who recorded Brain Corrosion. An excellent album, but let's talk about something. Your vocals were different because on the chapter of Accidents, you combined clean vocals, clean growls, and pitch shifted growls at some point.
Yeah.
But on Brain Corrosion, it was all crazy growling, grunting, squealing from you. The main change between the two albums was your vocals. So how did you get to that point of such a big change?
That was completely different music comparing to a chapter of my beloved splits. I'm talking about both splits released before disbanding That Infection. So it was different approach, different music. So basically, I wanted to something which could sound like Brain Corrosion, something absolutely mad. So yeah, album was approach to recording, and then all idea was completely different on a chapter. So yeah, why not just do it different way?
Okay,
that's it.
So you just wanted something crazy?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So, and what was the reason? Okay, I understand that was the reason to change the traditional roles these crazy rows. And it was that the same reason for eliminating the pitch shifter?
Yeah, it's like, even if you check track list titles on Brain Corrosion, it's some, crazy, sometimes silly stuff. So just I wanted, to make it all, sounds, silly, sure. Crazy. Yeah.
All right. Ok. Entonces llegamos al punto en el que Jaro, la alineación esta clásica de Dead Infection graba lo que sería el último disco de Jaro con la banda. Y tiene un sonido totalmente diferente, un poco menos orientado al sonido gore, y es como un poquito más grindcore, pero es súper original, sigue siendo súper brutal, pesado, súper grave, bastante agresivo. La velocidad es la misma. Grabado en Hertz Studio, un excelente álbum. Y le digo a Jaro, el principal cambio que se tuvo aquí fue el de tus voces, porque se eliminó el uso del pitch shifter. Recordemos, en A Chapter of Accidents había el growl, los gruñidos tradicionales, combinados con otras voces de alterador de tono, el pitch shifter, el que hace la voz como de Darth Vader, así, ¿no? Y eso se eliminó para este disco, y en realidad tenemos una combinación de gritos, gruñidos y todo más locos, más como dementes. Y Jaro dice, sí, fue algo que sucedió espontáneamente, la música era un poco diferente, entonces queríamos algo que suene más loco, más chiflado. Y incluso si es que te fijas, perdón, si te fijas en los títulos de las canciones, vas a ver que tienen algo así como de chiflado en eso, ¿no? Okay, Jaro. So that was your final step with the band.
Yeah.
Now tell me, what was if I can ask it, you will tell me. Was there any particular reason for you to leave the band?
First of all, Tocha left the band.
Mm-hmm.
Was, for personal reason, basically decided to move to UK, to London. So that's it. So he was out of the books. So then Pierścień and Halik joined a band. And basically, in my point of view, all this magic completely gone. Since then, I basically stopped enjoying, to playing in the band. And it wasn't, same as used to. It was absolutely nothing good. Then also, for my personal reason, I decided just basically leave the band and also move to UK, to London. So yeah, that was my end of that infection.
Sure.
Quitting. No more fun. These other things. I just said, okay, time to quit.
All right, well, I think that the most important positive thing is that there was no big fight. I mean, there was no big clash, just lack of magic, let's call it.
Yeah, because listen, personally, I really enjoyed to spend time with Halik, with new bassist. It's really good lads. So really, we had good time. But yeah, but band-wise, music-wise, it wasn't, what I really wanted to do. So yeah, that was time to quit. It was like, basically, I even think, this Brain Corrosion was in the right direction, personally. I think, the best things I ever did with that infection was them two splits. This release before first split of the band. Yeah, and everything went wrong way, to be honest.
Okay.
At the end of the day, that was time to leave. Yeah.
Okay. Ok. Bueno, y básicamente la salida de Jaro se da como alrededor del 2005, 2004, 2005 con Dead Infection. Le pregunto si hubo alguna razón particular y dice, bueno, eh, simplemente ya las cosas cambiaron. Toja salió de la banda, Toja se mudó al Reino Unido y un tiempo después Jaro también estaba viendo qué hacer de su vida y él también se mudó al Reino Unido, ha vivido ahí desde entonces, ahora nos habla desde ahí. Y le pregunto cómo eran las cosas en la banda antes de que te salgas. Entonces, básicamente ingresaron dos nuevos miembros que eran Pierre Chin y también Halik. Y que ya las cosas no eran iguales que con Toja. Simplemente se había ido la magia, las cosas no eran iguales. Le digo, bueno, lo importante es que no hubo ninguna pelea grande ni nada. Dice, no, así, tanto como llegar a pelearnos, no, eso es, lo cual es muy positivo. E incluso se llevaba muy bien con estas personas. Pierre Chen era amigo de Jaro. Halik era bastante agradable para pasar el tiempo. Pero no era lo mismo, ya no se había ido la banda. Así que fue cuando decidió salir de Dead Infection. Y así se cierra el episodio de Dead Infection con Jaro, que es bastante extenso, ¿no? Ok, Jaro. So you spent quite a few years without having a band.
Yeah, quite a few years, yeah.
All right. How could you contrast your, you had spent 15 years playing, 15 years having bands, and then you moved to the UK and spent quite a few years without a band. How was the contrast between your two lifestyles?
Not much, really. You know, I have many hobbies, things I had lots of things to do rather than playing in the band. So yeah, I was completely fine with that. I wasn't even thinking about, playing in the band. I was okay to come into the shows, meeting my old friends, new friends, listen to the bands, watching bands. Also, this all my life changed, new job, new partner. And of course, I'm a massive football fan, so I'm basically focused completely, on different things than playing music. So, but I was absolutely fine, and I'm still fine to be honest.
All right.
So the music never was like a major or most important part in my life. My interest is going to many other directions than music. So yeah, I'm absolutely fine. I was absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine. Yeah, all good.
All right. Excellent. Wow. Very interesting. Y entonces entramos en un periodo en otro periodo de transición en el que Jaro no tuvo banda por una buena cantidad de años y empezó una nueva vida en el Reino Unido. Y digo, ¿cómo era el contraste después de haber pasado alrededor de 15 años tocando, teniendo bandas y todo, grabando, dando conciertos? ¿Cómo fue el contraste de tu vida con música y sin música? Y dice, en realidad no fue ningún gran shock, fue algo que disfruté bastante, dice. Tenía muchos otros hobbies aparte de la música. Él es un grandísimo fan del fútbol. En Inglaterra el fútbol es de primera calidad. Tenía una nueva pareja, una nueva vida, iba a conciertos con amigos, entonces se divertía bastante y no es que sentía un vacío por la falta de música en su vida. Así que no fue un shock en su vida, pero sí hizo una vida diferente. Entonces pasó bastante bien en ese tiempo. Ok, Jaro. And now we move on to the modern, to more modern times, what was the year when Mid Spreader was formed?
That was 2016. So it's almost already 10 years.
Okay.
Time flies, yeah. I was actually, it was at Netherlands Deaf Fest 2016, and I bumped on to Arthur, Squash Bowels. So we start talking, chatting.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Arthur from Squash Bowels.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our Arthur, Mid Spreader Arthur, yeah. So
Okay.
basically, randomly, we met on Netherlands Deaf Fest, and basically we start, like very, easygoing conversation. Then we start talking about, our lives and everything. And Arthur suddenly he said, "Listen, what's about if we would make some band together?" That was like like impulse, He said like. And I said, it doesn't sound bad actually, but okay, it's you and me, who's else? And he said, listen, I can spoke to Radek, from the Dead Gods, Neuropathia. He used to play with Arthur in Squash Bowels, some period. Pierścień brother anyway, that's all family business. And then I said, okay, sounds good, so what about if I ask Tocha if he's interested? So maybe that lineup would be sorted then. So yeah, of course, as we said, I had to contact Radek. Radek said yes. I contacted Tocha. He said yes, and that's it. Mid Spreader was, born.
Okay, that's pretty interesting because it summed up the. Not summed up. It reunited a few members from some of the most important Goregrind bands in Poland, Neuropathia, Squash Bowels, Dead Infection, which are all from Białystok.
Yeah.
So, very interesting approach to have a very solid lineup like that. Okay, what do you remember about what were your first impressions when you started playing like that?
With them?
Yes, with them.
To be honest, all magic was back. Since first day when we met for the rehearsal, I said, yeah, that's the right people for the right job. It was all good magic was back, like in all good Dead Infection times. Again,
okay.
Finally, I could, start working with right people, doing right things. Yeah, this is the most important thing. I don't care about skills, whatever, that kind of stuff. I don't need high skills, but don't get me wrong. All the lads in the band, they are high skilled musicians, but they got, apart of that, they got something, this extra thing. Some chemistry is going, in the band. So yeah, that was the right. I knew it. That's the right lineup to do the things, to start doing things again. That's why. Because listen, if I would say, okay, let's try, and okay, I would say yes, then I would meet them in the rehearsal room, and that would be still no spark. I would just say, fuck it, I don't care, It was wrong decision to start making, but yeah, I was positively surprised,
Okay.
How it started, going, yeah.
So,
Main important thing in the band.
Sure. It's like the old song by Queen. It's a kind of magic.
Yeah, exactly. It's this kind of magic. Some people never, never feel, that never had this feeling in their life, so they don't know what they're talking about. But yeah. You need chemistry in the band.
Of course.
You don't need all these electronic bollocks. You don't need triggers. You don't need, super, expensive stuff. You need magic.
Absolutely.
Then you got the band.
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Ok, entonces aquí llegamos ya a la época moderna de la vida de Jaro, que empezó hace ya 9 años, ya es hace un buen tiempo. Y hablamos de la banda Meat Spreader. Ustedes pueden ver el logo de Meat Spreader. Él es el repartidor, el esparcidor de carne que está junto al rostro de Jaro aquí durante esta entrevista, Meat Spreader. Y está bien escrito en la parte de abajo. Le digo, ¿cómo se formó eso? Porque volver a hacer música después de un montón de años, o sea, es algo sorprendente. Entonces dice, claro, una vez se encontró de casualidad en un concierto con Arthur, el fundador de Squash Vowels. Y claro, hay que recordar las bandas de Squash Vowels, Neuropathia y Dead Infection, que son las bandas más importantes del Goregrind polaco. Son todas de la ciudad de Białystok. Entonces todos eran amigos. Y se encontró Jaro con Arthur y le dice, Arthur dice, oye, ¿qué te parece si empezamos a hacer una nueva banda? Entonces hablaron con Radek de Neuropathia, el baterista. Arthur estaría a cargo del bajo. Por cierto, Radek es del hermano de Pierchen, el que grabó las voces de Coffee Grinders. Y les faltaba un guitarrista. Estaban Jaro en las voces, Arthur en el bajo, Radek en la batería, y les faltaba un guitarrista. Y Jaro dice, ¿qué tal si le llamamos a Toja? Mucha experiencia, gran amistad, muchos años de historia. Entonces dijeron, sí, ¿por qué no? Llámale. Le llamó a Toja, se reunieron a tocar ahí en Polonia. Y dice que la magia estaba de vuelta, que hubo excelente química. Entonces ahí empieza a describir la parte de la química. Dice, necesitas la gente adecuada para el trabajo adecuado. A pesar de que todos tienen grandes habilidades musicales, eso no era lo importante. La habilidad musical, aún siendo muy grande entre todos, no fue el factor determinante. Lo importante es que haya química, que todos se conozcan, que haya buena amistad, que tengan la química para mentalizar el mismo tipo de música. Y entonces ocurrió. Meat Spreader era la nueva banda de Jaro. Meat Spreader era la continuación de la vida musical de Jaro, y es una banda que existe hasta el día de hoy. Entonces vamos a hablar un poco más en detalle sobre cómo ha sido el avance de la trayectoria de todos ellos, ¿no? Okay, Jaro. So we have Meat Spreader, and you have these amazing recordings, Excessive Consumption of Human Flesh from 2016, A Storm of Green Flies Over the Rusty Pot from 2018. Wonderful albums. I suppose those were the first recordings, right? The official recordings. So what was the experience like of recording it? How did you work at the studio? What was your feeling of recording these wonderful albums? In general, what do you remember about it?
Yeah, what I remember about it, yes. First was Excessive Consumption. We recorded in actually our rehearsal room in London, most of the things. That was another homemade recording. Then first full length was recorded actually in 2 studios. All instruments were recorded in Białystok, in Dobra 12 studio. And I recorded vocals in a studio in London, studio run by vocalists from Antisect, Pete Lyons. She's a legend. man who create grindcore scene in UK, along the Napalm Death and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was the one. Then also few splits we recorded. That was recorded similar way, partly in Białystok, partly in UK. And then second full length, all album was recorded in Białystok, in Dobra 12 studio.
Okay. And you were talking about the chemistry, about the feeling. So what was this magical feeling of being at the studio with these guys, doing some crazy stuff? What was the experience of sharing the time at that moment with them?
Well, in the studio.
Yes.
That's what I said. Most of releases was recorded in different studios, so I wasn't with them.
No, but the second full length that you said, it was recorded entirely in Białystok.
Yeah.
So I suppose it was quite a special experience. All of you together at the same place.
Don't expect much, stories from that. I will tell you one thing. I always hated work in studios. I always hated, recording albums. It's absolutely, terrible experience for me. Because it's like, I always prefer, to live shows. Live show is done and dusted, you just go in, like a storm through and that's it. Recording, is everything will stay. What you recorded, that will stay forever. This is absolutely hated. And nothing changed, I'm telling you. Despite of different lineups, wherever, nothing changed. That was still painful for me. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm always happy when, when his last song, done and dusted, recorded, then it's happy days. I need few bottles of beer and just, celebrate this job is done.
Okay.
Yeah, that even in that infection time, I said even during recording a chapter, I was mostly spending time outside, not in the studio. Same with brain corrosion. I think I completely missed recording, drums, guitars, and bass. Just basically came to studio when it was my time to record vocals. Yeah, I hate studios. Absolutely hate.
Okay.
No. It doesn't matter, what people, around me. Yeah.
Okay, I completely understand. Entonces, mi pregunta para Jaro era ¿cómo fue la experiencia de grabar los primeros trabajos de Meat Spreader? Claro, el uno es Excessive Consumption of Human Flesh, sacado por Iteration Records en el 2016. El otro es A Swarm of Green Flies Over the Rusty Pot, del 2018. Y le digo, bueno, ya que estaban con un line-up sólido, con canciones bien hechas, todos con buena química, ¿cómo fue la experiencia de entrar al estudio con ellos? Y dice, bueno, primero, el del 2016 fue hecho por partes. Los instrumentos en Białystok y las voces fueron grabadas por Pete Lyons en Londres. Pete Lyons, un productor que estuvo atrás del éxito de Napalm Death y grandes bandas extremas de los 80s. Y los splits de esa época, que ya vamos a ver, me parece que tenemos aquí algunos splits. Sí, tenemos algunos splits que es con Heimdall y Hemorrhage. Tenemos el split con Arcagatus. Son que también fueron hechos de la misma manera. Así, parte en Białystok, parte en Londres. Pero que el segundo disco, el del 2018, el A Swarm of Green Flies, ese fue hecho completamente en Białystok. Fue completamente hecho en Białystok, con todos ahí en el estudio. Y mi pregunta fue, ok, ¿cómo era la experiencia de estar ahí en el lugar con esta magia que tú describes? Y dice, compréndeme, odio grabar en el estudio, me dice Jaro. Jaro no disfruta los estudios, dice, incluso en los tiempos de Chapter of Accidents, de Dead Infection, el Brain Corrosion, así como en los tiempos más modernos de Mid Spreader, Jaro no ha disfrutado pasar en el estudio, porque él salía a recrearse mientras los otros grababan. En el Chapter of Accidents, hablando de eso hace un rato, nos contaba que él salía al bosque a pasearse un rato, y en los otros discos también, que él no estaba presente mientras todos hacían todo, porque él como que se sentía estresado en el estudio, así que él prefería esperar que sea su turno, ir y dar el 100%, y que siempre ha estado muy contento cada vez que se termina una grabación, porque significa que ha cumplido con su misión. Entonces a él le gusta acabar una grabación bien hecha, eso sí, con mucho esfuerzo, pero de ahí salir a celebrar, pegarse una cerveza con los amigos, o sea, lo normal, porque él disfruta más la experiencia en vivo, que él es una persona de experiencias en vivo, ¿no? Okay, Jaro, you were talking about how much you feel the contrast between studio and live experiences. Now let's talk about concerts.
Yeah.
Okay, you have several years of playing with the Mid Spreader. You have already done some full-length albums, some splits. I already showed the split covers to the audience by now. So now let's talk about the concerts. You are a live person. You enjoy the adrenaline. You enjoy sharing with people. What can you say about the Mid Spreader experience at concerts?
Yeah, it's a little bit different experience than playing with Death Infection. Back in time in Death Infection, we had lots of regular, rehearsals. So I said, even, we could play actually every weekend, 2-3 days. So I said sometimes we basically, instead of playing them, we just, decide to having party. It's that much, time available for rehearsals, and Mid Spreader is a completely different story, because me and the other boys, we live in 3 different countries, so it's not really easy to meet up, just for rehearsal. So yeah, it's really, basically, I don't remember when we had like normal, regular, rehearsal. Basically, everyone working at home, and then we meet in 2 days before concert, and and start practicing. So it's that kind of way, it's not much time for rehearsal. No, we can't meet up too often. Just due to logistics, circumstances. And sometimes boys come into London. I'm organizing a rehearsal room in my area. Sometimes we meet in Belgium, where Arthur lives, and playing rehearsals there. Even last Obscene Extreme, just before our show, Churby organized a little rehearsal room in Trutnov, so we actually played the rehearsal 2-3 hours before our show. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I think due to our massive experience with that kind of music, it works. I can't see someone with much less experience going that way. And basically, I know personally, I'm not perfect on the stage now. I'm making some mistakes, but all this, chemistry, and that's making, miracles. That's why I think we're doing well on the stage, despite of lack of rehearsals.
Okay, and now let's talk about the moment when you are on stage.
Yeah.
How do you feel with Media Spreader when all your energy is displayed, when you are going with full force, the sound is loud, you're screaming with all the force of your lungs, and you feel all this blasting music being shot to the audience? What is the experience of Media Spreader live?
It's same like all my stage life. It's like first before we start playing, let's say kind of I don't wanna be there. It's not like stage fear. It's just I can't wait when show is finished. I can rejoin my mates and go for a few beers and that's more focus. I'm more focused on that one than show itself. But when music start playing, that's it. It's all gone. It's all switched on, and that's it. I'm not really thinking much. Just things. It's like it's like releasing small tornado. On the stage. That's it. And then suddenly it's end of the show. You even don't remember when. No, it all goes. Yeah.
So you would describe the Media Spreader experience as a live tornado.
Yeah, I could say that.
All right, that's wonderful. All right.
Maybe not fastest one. Sometimes very groovy, but still tornado.
Okay, so not the fastest band in the world, but it's still a tornado with full force.
Yeah, we can't be fast, but we also love these groovy moments in our music.
Sure.
I think it's little blink of our eyes toward autopsy.
Okay.
If you listen to these slow parts, you will know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yes. Being fast doesn't mean it's only fast bands are extreme. You know that. You don't need to be the fastest band in the world to be extreme. You know that.
Of course, absolutely.
But of course, same time, Radek can be really, really fast on the drum. Anyway, he's got proper, hardcore soul to drumming. So yeah.
Ok. Aquí ya nos enfocamos un poco más en la experiencia en vivo de Media Spreader. Porque claro, Jaro es una persona que se enfoca mucho en la performance en vivo, en botar esta energía. Y entonces le digo, ok, ¿cómo es la experiencia de tocar en vivo? Y le agradezco a Jaro porque ha sido ha sido muy meticuloso al describir cómo es no solo la experiencia de tocar en vivo, sino la preparación. Al ser una banda que tiene integrantes en diferentes países. Entonces, aquí nos habla de las diferencias con Dead Infection. Por ejemplo, con Dead Infection podrían ensayar cada fin de semana. A veces si no estaban de ánimo de ponerse tan estrictos con la música, podían tener unas fiestas, hacer una fiesta, una reunión. Pero ahora con Media Spreader es diferente porque viven en 3 países diferentes. En Polonia, en Bélgica y en Inglaterra. Y generalmente se reúnen 2 días antes del concierto para repasar. A veces en Londres, a veces en Bélgica, donde vive Arthur. Y dice que incluso cuando tocaron en el Obscene Extreme, Churby, el dueño de Obscene Productions y organizador del Obscene Extreme Fest, les ha prestado unas horas antes del concierto un lugar de ensayos para que puedan practicar. Y entonces ahí las cosas salieron a pedir de boca. Un gran detalle de parte de Churby, una gran persona que tuve el placer de conocer en el 2014, es un tipazo. Si alguna vez conocen a Churby, créanme, es un tipazo. Ahora, y le digo, ok, así es como se preparan. cuéntame cómo es la experiencia de estar sobre el escenario. Y dice, ok, a veces puede que no cante con toda la perfección del mundo, pero siempre va a haber buena química. Y siempre va a haber mucha potencia. Siempre antes de los conciertos hay algo de nerviosismo, porque dices, ya que empiece rápido, que se acabe para irme a pegar una cerveza con los amigos, sí, ya estás medio tenso. Pero dice Jaro, una vez que te subes al escenario con Mid Spreader y sientes la potencia de la música, ya, se te fue ese nerviosismo, se te fue la preocupación, simplemente sientes un tornado. Sí, tal vez no sea la banda más rápida del mundo, pero como muchos sabemos, no se necesita ser los más rápidos del mundo para ser muy extremos. También tienen ciertos momentos groovy, o sea, ciertas partes pesadas. Pero esa combinación de sonido, esa combinación de ritmos hace que sea súper brutal Mid Spreader en vivo. Hace que Mid Spreader sea una banda recontra potente sobre el escenario. Y algo que elogia Jaro es la capacidad del baterista Radek, que sí, es muy capaz, es muy preciso, es muy bueno tocando, y que a veces sí le sorprende tocando más rápido de lo que se espera. Entonces tiene una química muy especial, muy especial sobre el escenario. Si alguien de ustedes está alguna vez por Europa, vayan a ver a Mid Spreader. Ok, and coming to the last few years of Mid Spreader, let's talk about the lineup changes, because as far as I'm concerned, Jaro is not in the band anymore. Toja is not in the band anymore.
Yeah.
Toja left the band a few years back. So, any particular reason for him leaving the band?
Yeah, it's actually, I think Toja started completely losing interest, at some point in playing with the band. And it was like, it was getting more and more difficult, to deal with him, because, as I mentioned, band situation with people lives in 3 different countries is really difficult, to find moment to meet each other and play rehearsals, and and at some point though, Toja will start going with things, I'm not sure, if I'm not sure if I have time for rehearsal, for this or for that, and and I said actually to him, listen, if we deciding to meet somewhere to play, there will be no time to saying, I'm actually not, I'm not fancy to do it, today. So, you need to, no, exactly, was no time for that kind of thing. So actually, we, maybe it's a bit harsh to say, but we help him to make decision.
Oh, I understand.
About leaving the band, yeah? Because, I don't know what I want, I want to continue, I don't want it, so depends how I feel at, at that moment, so no, I said, we can't do this way.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, that was...
So yeah, it was a matter
to say, so we help him to make, decision.
Okay, you helped him.
Yeah.
Well, when you're in a band, you have to be committed. Are you in or are you out? So
yeah, you can, drag someone,
sure.
if he's not committed, in 100%. So yeah, I was time him to go.
Okay, I completely understand, and well, that's what I will tell the audience right now. Okay, entonces ya estamos llegando al final de la narración de las experiencias musicales, ya los últimos años de Mid Spreader, y le digo, bueno, he notado, hasta donde yo sé, Toja ya no está en la banda, entonces ¿hubo alguna razón particular para que se vaya? Y me dice, bueno, en realidad es algo comprensible porque al ser una banda con gente en diferentes países no es fácil. No siempre es posible estar juntos, reunirse. Y que llegó un punto en el que, claro, ya Toja empezó a perder el interés. A veces decía, sí, sabes que no sé si tengo el tiempo, no sé si estoy de ánimo como para viajar, no sé si me parezca tan chévere juntarme esta vez, tal vez la próxima. Entonces, en palabras de Jaro, le ayudaron a dejar la banda. O sea, le dijeron, mira, te entendemos, somos tus amigos, pero si hay una banda y hay algo que hacer, pues se tiene que hacer. No se puede estar dependiendo de si un día tienes ganas, otro día no tienes tanto las ganas. Entonces, así que mejor tomemos una decisión, hermano. Entonces, claro, ahí fue cuando Toja dejó la banda y han llegado al presente. Okay, so can you tell me about who replaced Jaro and what is the band situation at the present moment?
Yeah, so our new guitarist is Marcin. It's him and Radek playing in a few other bands like the Dead Goats, Neuropathia, and actually after Toja left, we were considering, few people to join us, and basically Arthur came with like sudden, idea. What's about Marcin? I knew him before, not as a musician. No, of course I knew his bands, but I met him few times before. He went with us to a few festivals, just as a friend. And yeah, when Arthur said, what's about Marcin? And I said, oh, listen, let's try. And I tell you something, when of course Marcin joined us, and I was massively positively surprised after first rehearsal. I said, bloody hell. I wasn't, to be honest, I won't lie, I wasn't expecting that positive impact from him. It was absolutely something what blew me away. And basically I said, wow, I'm so glad, Radek and Arthur knew the man, and and then suggested, me to bring him into the band. And yeah, absolutely, I'm absolutely happy see him in our band. Absolutely happy.
Ok. Entonces, la pregunta fue acerca del reemplazo de Toja. Le pregunté quién fue. Y tiene un amigo llamado Martin, que toca junto con el baterista Radek en algunas bandas, incluyendo Neuropathia. Y que al momento que Toja se fue, estaban considerando algunas opciones junto a Arthur. Y Arthur dijo, ¿por qué no traemos a Martin, que se lleva muy bien con Radek y parece que es muy buen guitarrista? Entonces llegó Martin al ensayo y Jaro dice que tiene que admitir que él no esperaba tan buena química, que era el músico perfecto para ese momento de la banda, que encajó perfectamente, que agarró el feeling de inmediato, que no tuvo ningún problema en adaptarse y que el impacto que tuvo sobre la percepción de Jaro Jaro describe como una sorpresa masiva, una grandísima sorpresa, porque Martin realmente es un musicazo. Alright, Jaro, I suppose that this is your current situation with music. You are the vocalist of Media Spreader. You have 2 full lengths and a few splits. Is that the information correct, or am I missing something?
Yeah, I think so. What we got a mini debut we got this triple split with Hemorrhage and Hemdale.
Yes.
We got split with Arhagatus, second full length. And now we got split with Putrefaction Sets In.
Ah, Putrefaction Sets In.
Yeah, we got
okay.
Another band created from people from different parts of the world.
Yes.
Yes, very, very multinational, you know, split.
Yeah, I think it's Anderson Oliveira from Brazil with a guy from Lymphatic Phlegm, and then this guitarist, what's the name?
Yeah, Regurgitate guitarist.
The guitarist of Regurgitate. I can't remember the name right now.
Oh, bloody hell, now came from my head.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right now, it doesn't come to mind.
Urban
Skit. Urban Skit. Yes. Urban Skit from Regurgitate, and Anderson Oliveira from Expurgo. And then a guy from Lymphatic Phlegm.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So are you preparing that, or did you release it?
It's been released in the beginning of this month.
Oh, wonderful!
So it's already running around the world. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's out.
Excellent! Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, really looking forward to listening to it. Okay.
You should find this already on YouTube.
Of course.
So yeah, you should.
Okay, let me tell the audience this great news. All right. Entonces, le digo, hemos hablado ya de tu situación actual. Martin ingresó a Mid Spreader, tienen algunos splits que tienen 2 álbumes completos. Recordamos de nuevo lo de los splits de Mid Spreader. Tenemos el split de Hemorrhage, Hemdale, Mid Spreader. Tenemos también el split con Arhagatus. Y le digo, bueno, supongo que hasta ahí llega en la actualidad. Y me dice, a inicios de este mes se acaba de publicar un split con la banda de varios países, la banda internacional Putrefaction Sets In, que es un proyecto de uno de los miembros de Lymphatic Phlegm, no recuerdo cuál, con Anderson Oliveira de Anderson Oliveira de Expurgo y el guitarrista de Regurgitate, Urban Skit. Entonces es un split de 2 bandas internacionales. Cada una de las 2 bandas tiene miembros en diferentes países. Son excelentes bandas de Goregrind, tocando y grabando todo con el mejor sonido al máximo nivel, grandísimos músicos, así que queda recomendado. Si pueden encontrar ese split, cómprenlo. Estoy seguro de que será una gran producción. Y Jaro me dice, sí, lo más seguro es que ya ahorita lo encuentran en YouTube. Okay, Jaro. So we have covered your musical career, and at the end of the show, I always ask some trivia questions. All right, a few questions. So one trivia question that's been going through my mind is the fact that the 3 biggest, and now 4 with Mid Spreader, the biggest Goregrind bands from Poland have come from Białystok.
Yeah.
Do you find any particular reason for that? Because Poland is a big country with a big population, and having all the main bands in one city is like crazy.
I think they making special moonshine vodka there, which makes you good grindcore musician. Honestly, it's something in the water in this city. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
You know, yeah, it's hard to say. You got some places in the world when they accumulate people in certain, type of music. Let's say quick example like Seattle and the bloody grunge. Yeah. For some reason, Białystok was always really strong, with Grindcore. So I can't really say, especially I'm not from Białystok. So I'm adopted by this city, but I'm not from. Originally, I'm not from Białystok. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's some people, some. It's like kind of, maybe kind of infection. Someone start doing things right, and then just new people come in, and it's like people know each other. So I think it's atmosphere among the bands, in Białystok was always all right. People helped each other, and partly, it's like family business. I said, Radek Pierścień is family. Also, I don't know if you know that, but Maui and Kellner from that infection, they are also brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So no, but yeah, something going on. I still will blame moonshine vodka for that.
Moonshine vodka.
Yes.
Okay.
The Białystok is famous in Poland, for lots of illegal, vodka factories, all over. So yeah.
But I suppose that moonshine vodka is not actually one of them.
Yeah. It's lots of different types, Yeah.
Okay. Very funny take on that. All right.
Yeah.
Ya estamos llegando a la recta final de la entrevista. Y le pregunto a Jaro, bueno, en las preguntas trivia que siempre pregunto al final, ¿qué le hace especial a la ciudad de Białystok? Porque las bandas más importantes de Goregrind de Polonia vienen de ahí: Dead Infection, Swashbuckles, Neuropathia. Vienen de ahí, y ahora ya, la base, digamos, principal de donde parte Mid Spreader también es de ahí, porque tienen miembros de todas las bandas nombradas. Entonces son las 4 bandas más importantes de Goregrind en la historia de Polonia, y todas son de la misma ciudad. Vamos a poner el mapa. Pueden ver la cantidad de provincias que hay en Polonia. Incluso no es en la capital, en Varsovia, sino que es una ciudad, hablemos de una ciudad de provincia, como se dice comúnmente. Y todas estas bandas vienen de ahí, y le digo, ¿qué tiene de especial Białystok para que todos vengan de ahí? Y dice, bueno, siempre hay, siempre puedes encontrar algún lugar en el mundo, te topas de vez en cuando con algún lugar en el mundo en el que alguien empieza a hacer algo, lo empieza a hacer bien, y los amigos ven, comparten, y se va esparciendo como una especie de pequeña infección, digamos, por llamarlo de alguna forma. Y claro, Jaro dice, yo soy de EUK, no soy nacido en Białystok, pero fui adoptado por esta ciudad. Y digamos que hay un ambiente especial. Podríamos decir, bromeando un poco, que se le culpa al moonshine vodka, que hay un montón de fábricas de vodka en Polonia, muchas legales, muchas que no lo son, pero bueno, moonshine vodka es algo que todos compartían, como que la forma de festejar, la forma de organizarse, la forma de hacer las cosas, estaba como que estaba en la misma sintonía entre toda esta gente. Incluso en ex miembros de estas bandas, Maui y Kellner siguen siendo grandes hermanos de todos. Y que sí, a veces simplemente empieza a pasar algo en un lugar y se va regando, hasta que hay gente que hace termina haciendo grandes proyectos, grandes bandas de música, y sí, así ocurre. Ok. When you were talking about the transition between the moment you moved to the UK and Mid Spreader, you were talking about some hobbies. You said that you had many other hobbies. Which hobbies do you have in your life?
Yeah, I think football is a main bit. I'm absolutely mad about my club, Nottingham Forest. I'm season tickets holder, so basically football keeps me busy almost every weekend. I'm going to all home games, most of away games. Yeah, then basically when football stops in the summer, I'm start feeling quite bored. Can't wait when, you know, new season starts. Plus also, you know, I'm still active, you know, going to the shows, meeting people. And of course, my another big love is Japan. So I'm basically visiting Japan every year. I'm going there every autumn for a few weeks. That's, you know, takes lots of my, you know, holiday. So yeah, I'm a busy person. You probably noticed we got problem to finally, you know, set the date for this meeting, isn't it? Yeah.
Of course. Don't worry about
even
it.
Even yesterday, I was in Nottingham watching my club winning against, you know, current champions.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm still buzzing. I'm absolutely happy. Yeah, yeah, I'm really committed into this. I think it's yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Ok. Otra pregunta fue acerca de los hobbies que tiene, porque Jaro decía que en el medio entre mudarse al Reino Unido y empezar Middlesbrough tenía muchos hobbies, muchas actividades, y le digo, bueno, ¿cuáles eran? Y dice, lo primero, estoy loco por el fútbol y me encanta el equipo Nottingham Forest. Por eso él muchas veces usa el seudónimo de Jaro Forest, porque le encanta el equipo ya en Nottingham Forest, que va a todos los juegos que son en casa y algunos que son de visitante, y que siempre que hacen el parón de verano a mitad de año, antes de la nueva temporada, él está ansioso porque la nueva temporada empiece, es un loco por el fútbol. Y otro gran amor que tiene en la vida es ir al Japón, que cada año se va en otoño al Japón a pasar unos días ahí, que es un loco enamorado del Japón. Entonces le encanta viajar, le encanta visitar el Japón, le encanta el fútbol. Así que ya conocemos ciertos aspectos de los hobbies personales de nuestro gran invitado Jaro. Okay, Jaro, it's been a pleasure and an honor to have you here on my show. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a long time because I really admire you. Of course, my episodes don't have a time limit because usually I take some time to ask many things that I've been wanting to ask, sometimes for years, sometimes for decades. I found out your existence in the year 2001. My birthday is in November, and one friend of mine lent me a chapter of Obscene to record it on tape. He told me, "Okay, Pablo, you can take it and record it. I cannot give it to you as a present because I have no other copy of it, but you can take it and record it." And that was a big thing for my birthday in 2001. And well, surprisingly, a lot of years later, I bought the same copy of the same album to that guy. Now I have it at home. And since then, I've been following your progress, following your career, and I've always been surprised of how good your achievements have been. Of course, I haven't been able to see you live, but for me, your musical career has been very important in my perception of music, and it has inspired a lot of music that I've done in my life. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Nice to hear that, mate. Thank you.
Okay, so let me translate this part to the audience before we say goodbye, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bueno, ya estamos en la parte final. Yo simplemente le agradecía a Jaro este tiempo, el gusto y el honor de tenerlo en este show. Yo le contaba que, bueno, he seguido la trayectoria de él desde mi cumpleaños en el 2001, cuando un amigo me dijo, no te puedo regalar el disco de Dead Infection, el Chapter, pero puedes llevarlo unos días a tu casa para grabarlo. Bueno, sorprendentemente muchos años después pude comprarle al mismo amigo el mismo disco. Lo tengo en mi casa hasta el día de hoy. Y desde entonces he seguido la trayectoria de Jaro con mucho interés. Siempre he estado al tanto de las cosas que él ha sacado como músico y que han sido una inspiración en mi vida. Me ha inspirado incluso cuando he hecho música. Creo que a mucha gente en el mundo le ha pasado lo mismo y estoy muy agradecido con Jaro por esto. Ok, Jaro, time to say goodbye to the audience. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for surviving for these last almost 3 hours.
Okay.
Actually, I really enjoy, your interview. Thank you very much, for having me here. And yeah, muchas gracias. And just remember, be good to yourself, and just keep going with good job. Thank you very much.
Ok, aquí Jaro nos agradece a todos por estar junto a él estas casi 3 horas. Él ha disfrutado, dice que ha disfrutado mucho la conversación y que muchas gracias de verdad. Ok, con todos, esto fue Bestial Blast Radio Show. Yo soy su anfitrión, Pablo Barrera La Lama. Este fue nuestro gran invitado Jaro Forest desde Polonia, nacido en Polonia y hablando desde Inglaterra. Así que gracias por estar aquí, gracias por aguantarnos tanto tiempo conversando. Gracias por el interés y hasta la próxima, amigos. Esto es Bestial Blast Radio Show. Nos vemos.
Okay, bye. Thank you very much. See you later.